doctrine. Who taught us that? Who taught them guys to go inside the first? It's talking about the white man. Read it again. You don't know Christ, brother. You don't know Christ. Read.
Beware, lest any man spoil you.
Who spoiled this Negro right here? The white man. Read.
Through philosophy.
It's philosophy he's coming with. And another little man in the back. Read.
And vain deceit.
What is deceiving lies? Vain lies. Read.
After the tradition of men.
Who taught them after the tradition of men? The white man taught our people that. That's what they're coming with. No, bro, don't say Christ is black. Nobody sees Jesus Christ. Everybody, nobody. This is Negro. That's what they're coming with. To keep us on the bottom. But your day is over. The mind of the slave is finished.
But this shall be, but this war that's coming up now shall be what? Shall be with burning and fuel of fire. That's plain. But this war is going to be with burning and fuel of fire, meaning nuclear destruction.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
So the Lord said that these curses was going to be upon us because we not want to serve him with joyfulness and gladness of heart, an abundance of all things. Keep reading.
Therefore shall thy serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
Stop right there. So the Lord said that he was going to send our enemies against us for hunger and in thirst. Jump down to verse 49.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49.
Bring it out.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So the Lord said he was going to bring a nation against us from afar. Once you go back to history, the nation that was from afar was the so-called white man that came over here and conquered the so-called Native Americans and Indians. Keep reading.
From the one end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flyeth.
So America right now, who do they portray as their national mascot? The eagle. So
That's
the Bible
right.
is talking about the so-called white man. Keep
That's
reading.
right.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Because when they came over here, the Native Americans and the so-called pilgrims, they didn't speak the same language. They spoke a whole different language.
Right.
That's
Keep
right.
reading.
A nation of fierce countenance.
So the Lord said that this nation is gonna have a fierce countenance.
Right.
They're not gonna care. Keep reading.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So this nation, this so-called white man, they not gonna show favor to the young or to the old. So just like you seen in the news, they didn't care if those kids were separated from their parents.
Right.
Them kids was like 4 or 5 years old.
That's
Kids
right.
separated
Bring it
from their
out.
parents.
Right.
How can those kids defend for themselves?
Right. Bring it out.
Give me Joel chapter 3 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
Because the so-called white man, they did more than just separate our kids. They read.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot.
So the Lord said that the other nations, they have cast lots for his people, which means they had traded or gambled off his people.
Right.
Keep reading.
And sold a girl for wine, that they may drink.
So who did that happen to? They sold our women for wine. They gambled our young men off as well. Jump to verse 1.
Joel chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
For behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down unto the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations.
So the Lord said that we was going to be scattered among the nations. Jump to Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Bring it out.
Go to 64. Go to 64.
Bring it out.
Because the Lord said we were going to be scattered. So is that a curse on us today? So is that a curse on us today? Let's find out.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
So the Lord said he was going to scatter us among all people. So if you notice today, we got brothers everywhere. We got brothers in America, we got brothers in Jamaica, we got brothers in, all over the world.
Right.
Can you read?
From the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So we got brothers scattered from one end of the earth even unto the other. Can you read?
Even unto the other. And there shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So the Lord said when he scattered us that we were going to end up serving, read that again, that last part.
Even wood and stone.
That we was going to serve other gods, which are wood and stone, which you have today, like is the cross.
Right.
That is a pagan god. That's a god made of wood. And the stone, the Ishmael, they worship that the collar stone, cobble stone. Jump down to verse 48.
Bring it out.
60 in my bad, 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord said he was going to bring us into Egypt again with ships. Give me Egypt, Exodus 20 and 2.
Bring it out.
Because you got to know what Egypt is symbolic for. It's symbolic for slavery.
Bring it out.
Read.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So the Lord said that he was going to bring us out of the land of Egypt, which is the house of bondage.
That's right.
Jump back to 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord said he was going to bring us back into slavery again with ships. Keep reading.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So what were we not going to see no more again? Our homeland. Have we ever been back to our homeland? No. We have been stuck in America the whole time. Keep reading.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And in this land, we was going to be sold unto our enemies. So when we came over here, we were sold unto our enemies to these other nations. Keep reading.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
So the Lord said that we was going to be sold unto our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. Keep reading.
And no man shall buy you.
So it said no man shall buy us, which means no man will be able to redeem us at the conditions that we are in today.
That's
We are
right.
still stuck on the bottom, you black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man.
That's right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Lord said, we do not hearken and keep his laws, his statutes, and commandments, that all these curses is going to come upon us and overtake us. As a people, we have the worst living conditions. We are the ones that are always on the bottom.
That's right.
Hey brother, by your car, go on looking in your trunk. Can you come over here for a second? We got some good news to tell you. Come over here for a minute.
That's right. Bring it out.
Read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So, brother, coming up, the Lord said that if we do not listen to him, we do not keep his commandments, that some curses are going to come upon us. Keep reading.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Lord said that if we don't keep his law, statutes, commandments, that the curses are going to come upon us and overtake us. Keep reading.
Cursed shall thy be in the city.
So the Lord said that we was going to be cursed in the city. Do you know any other nations that has horrible living conditions or living in worse conditions? Do you know anybody? So you don't. So you can say that our people are the only people on the face of the earth that has horrible living conditions, right?
I think overseas,
Yeah, but the
black
people.
kids, skinny kids.
Yeah, but they still, majority of them are still our people. Why? Because they fit underneath those curses.
That's right.
Give me, let me show you something. Do you know your nationality? You don't know your nationality? Okay, give me Deuteronomy 1
Bring
and
it
1.
out. Bring it out.
Because the Most High is only talking to a certain group of people. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
No, he spoke to all nations.
unto all Israel.
So the Lord was only talking to Israel. Now jump back to 28 and 15. Because you got to know that the whole book of Deuteronomy and the whole Bible is only talking to Israel.
That's right.
Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So the Lord he's talking to Israel. He's telling them, if you do not hearken, which hearken means to listen. Read it again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So the Lord said, if we do not listen and we do not hearken to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, let's find out what's going to happen.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? So curse a bad thing. So that's right. All right. So he said, if we don't listen to his keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, that these curses are going to fall upon us. Keep reading.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thy be in the city.
So the Lord said, cursed shall we be in the city. If you look around today, you see that you abandoned houses that are in our neighborhood. We got potholes in the streets.
That's right.
We got trash in our neighborhood. So those are some of the examples of what's being cursed in the city. Keep reading.
Cursed shall thy be in the field.
So if you look down at this sign right here, it's showing us that we was cursed in the field. We was cursed in the cotton field. We was cursed as a nation of people. They were forcing us to pick cotton in the slave field. And because like you see down here, we got curses.
Cotton field sign, right there.
Yeah, so see right here, like how we picking cotton in the field right here, and they got us. They got this one Edomite, this one white man watching over us, and we couldn't do nothing against him.
That's right.
Jump let's see. Go to verse 32.
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So one of the other curses that the Lord put upon us is showing that we was gonna be given unto another people, our sons and our daughters. They had us on auction box. There was let's see. Yeah, they had us on an auction block. They was selling us off. They was separating us from our families. Like right up in here. They was taking this woman. They was just separating us. They was separating the kids. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So that only happened to us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Keep reading.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So we was gonna be looking for longing for them, which means we was gonna be sad. We wasn't gonna be able to reunite ourselves with our kids. Why? Because they'll send them off to a whole nother plantation,
Right.
states away.
Right.
And we can't just go back and get our kids. Keep reading.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
So the Lord said we wasn't gonna have no might in our hand. We wasn't gonna have no might to get our kids back from our oppressors, from our enemies. Because when they shipped our kids off, we didn't know where they was sending them to. We didn't know where they was going. Just like how they just to relate today. You've been watching the news, right? Just how they was doing with the so-called immigrants, which are the Northern Kingdom. Right over here on this 12 tribe chart, you'll see that the Most High, He gave us our godly names, and then He gave us our and these are the names that the other nations call us. So, do you see yourself on this sign right here? So, you used to see yourself American black? Yeah. Okay. So that means you from the tribe of Judah, according to the Bible.
That's right.
And
What's your name, brother? Antonio? I see you got on the shirt black on black on black on black. What does that mean, bro? Black on black, right? So you consider yourself a so-called black man. Right. Now, they call us that name black, right? You understand that, right? Now, I'm going to show you a few more other things in the Bible. What do you know about Job? Job. You never heard of Job? You ever heard of, you read the Bible in it? You read the Bible? What about King Solomon? You ever heard of King Solomon? What color was King Solomon? You really don't know.
Bring it out!
I see that shirt said black on black on black on black. I like that shirt, man.
So you saying
We gonna,
white folks gave us that name?
no, yeah, they did. But in the essence, that's not our nationality. But our color, sometimes our color is described as being black. You understand that? So we're going to see what King Solomon looked like. What they described him as, or what he described himself as.
Bring it out!
Even as King Solomon Song of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
We're going to find out what Solomon looked like, bro. Because his shirt might say black on black on black on black instead of white on white on white on white. Because what do they show us Christ looking like? I understand that. They say he had wood hair, but what do they show him as? You ever watch?
They show a white man.
They show a white man, though. They show this man right here, don't they?
They said don't nobody know how God really looks.
They say that, don't they? Can we read it out the Bible what it looks like? Give me Song of Solomon 1 and 5, bro.
Bring it out.
The book of Songs of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
Teach.
What's your name again, bro? Antonio. Check this out, bro. This is King Solomon.
I am black.
Antonio, what did he say? Read it again.
I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
So King Solomon said he was black. Give me Job 30 and 30. He said he's black. So his shirt gonna say what? Black on black on black on black. You got that, Antonio? So this is the black man in the Bible, right? Read that.
The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30.
Bring it out.
My skin is black upon me.
Wait a minute. Hold up, brother. Hold up. You gotta read that again. Slow down for the brother Antonio so you can hear this thing. Read.
My skin is black upon me.
This is Job. So what color is Job? He black. Read it again.
My skin is black upon me.
Give me Genesis 2 itself. See, brother Antonio,
Bring it out.
they didn't teach us that these people were black in the Bible, or so-called black. You understand that, brother? They didn't teach us that. Because you always thought, what about Adam? What about Adam? How does Adam look? The first man ever created, how did he look? You don't know. We're going to read it out the Bible, okay? Read that thing.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7.
Bring it out.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
Brother Antonio, how old are you, man? 37. You ever planted a garden? You ever been around some soil? What color the soil is? What color the dirt is? It's brown. So, read that again.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
So what color was Adam? He was a shade of brown, huh?
That's
You
right.
understand that? I see your shirt say black on black on black on black. I like that thing, man. Give me Revelation 1 and 14. I'm gonna show you something.
Bring it out.
They told us that they didn't know what Christ looked like, right? But yet they painted him as this.
That's
Look
right.
like it themselves. What does that mean, brother Antonio? They trying to say he white, ain't he? We're gonna read out the Bible what the Bible says he looked like, okay?
Right.
We're gonna see what the Bible says. We'll see if it match up with them, what those people say. Give me Revelation 1 and 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
So, brother Antonio, the root word of revelation means to reveal. What's about to happen here is the revealing of Christ, to reveal what he looked like. You understand that? Read verse 14.
Verse 14. His hair and his hairs were white like wool.
Brother Antonio, does this man have white woolly hair? What about this guy over here? His hair is white and it's woolly. There's two things going on in this sentence right here. They said it was white, which meaning like, when people get old, what color their hair turn?
That's right.
Now,
Bring it up.
they say that it turned gray, right? But it's actually really gray. What color is it? So the Bible said this, Jesus Christ is going to have white, woolly hair. Now, what kind of texture is wool? Kind of rough. What's another word for woolly? What's another word for woolly, brother Antonio? Nappy.
That's
Say it
right.
on the mic. Say it on the mic.
That's right.
So Christ got white, nappy hair, according to the Bible. Read.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So his eyes was a flame of fire. You know anything about the Bible for us? What was Jesus Christ's first miracle? His first miracle, he turned water into wine. So if you drink wine, what color your eyes, the whites of your eyes going to turn? What color they going to turn? They going to turn red, ain't it? Let's see. Because you know, Jesus Christ drank wine in moderation. You understand that? Read that. No, not just read.
And his eyes was a flame of fire.
So that's why his eyes are red, because he drank wine in moderation. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Brother Antonio, you got on some shoes, you got on some Adidas today. Now, if you take off them Adidas, and I see your feet, it's basically going to be the same color as your face, right? All right, so it says his feet was like unto fine brass. What color is brass? Like brown. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So if you burn anything in a furnace, brother Antonio, what color it turn? What? Black on black on black on what?
That's right.
That's right.
You hear that, brother Antonio? So what color is Christ?
That's right.
He's a black man according to the Bible.
Bring it out.
Now I want to show you what your nationality is today. The brother soldier was bringing out also. Now, those curses that he was reading, he actually was a curse, a good thing, a bad thing, didn't he? And you said a bad. So some of those things that was happening in the Bible, when our children getting taken away, given to another people, he said that was going to happen to the Israelites, right? And that happened to me and you, our forefathers.
That's right.
So what does that make us? If God said that he was going to curse the children of Israel and he's going to get their children away to another people, but the same things happened to me and you, the black man. Say it again. Say it again. Exactly what you said. No, the first thing you said.
That's right.
We're the children of Israel.
That's right.
The children of Israel.
That's right.
Children of Israel.
That's right.
What are you?
The children of Israel.
That's right.
You are a child of the Most High God. We are the children of Israel.
That's right.
That's why we going through these curses. That's why you got to go pay your last penny to get some gas at the gas station.
Right.
Because we curse, because we won't keep God's commandments. What's up,
That's
brother?
right.
What's going on with you, brother? What's your name, man? D? How you doing, brother D? I want you to ask Brother Antonio. Brother D. Brother D. Ask Antonio what's his nationality.
That's right.
You hear that? He's a child of Israel.
That's right.
You also are a child of Israel. You understand that? We collectively are the children of Israel.
That's
all we are here doing today is to teach our people who they are.
Right.
Because before I asked you that, and before Brother Antonio came up here, he thought he was a African American, a so-called black man. You understand that? We the Israelites.
Right.
You understand that, Brother D? You understand that? All right. Now, I'll pray to the Most High. Now, what we need to do, Brother Antonio, what we need to do after we know we Israel, give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Because God wants to do a certain thing. We just can't jump out here and do whatever we want to do. We got to do what God says do. You understand that? This is something they don't teach us in the church. Read that, bro.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12.
Bring it out.
Now Israel.
So who is he talking to? He talking to the church of Israel. You're an Israelite, ain't you, Brother D? Hey, Brother Antonio, you're Israelite. He talking to you. Read this.
What does the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God.
So God requires something of us. We're held to a high requirement now. Now that you know, you have come out of ignorance and you know who you are.
Right.
You understand that? It's awesome to know who you are, Brother D, Brother Antonio. It's awesome to know who you are. So God got a requirement for us. Read.
To walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
So we're supposed to keep God's commandments.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.